I modded Pokemon Emerald to where everything is shiny. And to make this even more interesting, I decided to make it a Nuzlocke. Because I am not good at Nuzlockes and I hate myself. We start off our journey in Little Root Town and save this wimp Professor Bitch from this little Zigzagoon by picking our starter, Gex the Trico. We took down May in our first ever rival fight, and with her gift to us of 5 Pokeballs, the Nuzlocke had officially begun. Our first encounter was this glittering Poochyena, who we named Nacho and proceeded to never use again. We then caught this purple Wurmple, nice, named Fanta. Wurmple was actually my very first shiny Pokemon, and this is the exact route that I caught it on, so this was really nostalgic. After seething with jealousy while watching Wally catch his own shiny Ralts, we went to the next route to catch Slurpee, the Tailo, and then Adderall, the Shroomish. Gex and I stopped this pirate in exchange for a Great Ball, and we trained up Slurpee knowing he would be incredibly useful as this was a Nuzlocke, and Guts, Tailo, or Swellow, with Facade later on in the game is mind-blowingly broken. With the squad leveled up to be at least somewhat on par, let's call it loose level caps. We challenged Roxanne for our first gym badge. The battle began as Adderall versus Geodude, which was pretty one-sided as you can imagine. We got a crit, which actually did matter because the following Geodude survived the hit, but was no match for our little mushroom. Next up was this Golden Nosepass, who we got a Leech Seed on before skedaddling, and sent out Gex, luckily, at the right time because she used Block to trap Gex in. After a few unlucky 2-hit Bullet Seeds and a few pretty strong Rock Tombs, and also a few potions because this is not a hardcore Nuzlocke. I am not good enough to do a hardcore Nuzlocke. We finally ended the fight with the strongest of grass type moves, Absorb. After the fight, we continued foiling the plots of pirates, gave this old man his bird back, and got a new phone from the president. Yes, sir, I can cancel your 2 o'clock lunch. Yes, right away, sir, right away, sir. And we went to fight May. Gex killed this Lotad with no mercy, and then switched out to sacrifice poor Nacho, who died so that Slurpee could come in and finish off the fight with a crit. And then, in perfectly cinematic fashion, Gex evolved right after the rival fight. Then we sailed with that old man and his bird to Dewford Town, where we went and traversed through Granite Cave completely by memory. And while we were in there, we caught OxyClean, the Aeron. It's like oxidation, like because he looks rusty, because the shiny looks rusty. Trust me, it's clever. And then we curved Brawly for now, went straight past him, past the beach, past Slateport, and to Route 110 so we could catch the most beautiful shiny, like in this whole game, Electrike. And we named our new team member Storm. We went back to the beach to train up Fanta, so he evolved into Beautifly, who quad resists fighting, and sailed back to Dewford to take on Brawly. This was an intense fight from the start. We chipped away at Machop like all the way down to 1 HP, and then he potioned up and got us all the way down to 1 HP too with a Seismic Toss. But after my own potion, Fanta finished up the job. I switched to Gex against Meditite, who literally just kept on trying to use Focus Punch, and it never worked out, until it just died. I admire the commitment, buddy, I really do. I tried to switch to Slurpee against Makuhita, but the Vital Throw just did so much raw damage. So I switched to Fanta, who tanked the hit with relative ease. The two chipped away at each other until it was Fanta who finally won the battle. After that fight, we sailed back to Slateport and man, where are all these pirates coming from? Anyways, we fought off this museum invasion of simps, and with butterflies in our stomach, went to go fight May, who is notoriously a run killer at this part. Storm took care of Wingull, and Fanta took out Lombre, with a little bit of difficulty. But with the Combuskin now in and at half health, and no one really to switch to easily, I faced the inevitable. I had to let Fanta die in order to get a clean switch. So Slurpee came in and finished off the fight. After getting us the Brawly dub, losing Fanta was kinda sad, and especially because, like I said, this was my first ever shiny, even if that one ended up being a Dustox, but you get the point. But this was no time to mourn. It was time to train. Our team was clearly not ready for Watson at all. We fought cyclists, breeders, athletes, fishermen, florists, guitarists, double battles, the Winstraits even! And we came out of all that with a newly evolved Swellow and Breloom. And a newly caught Illumise, which is just death fodder. The Watson fight began as OxyClean, our Aeron, versus a very weird looking Great Ball. This was a long fight between just these two of attacks missing, para-hacks, and potions, but just know that it all ended with this Great Ball self-destructing for no reason. We'd take those. Hi there, Editor Fargus here. So yeah, this entire fight was really long and drawn out, and there was a lot of healing and paralysis and para-hacks. To give you the spark notes though, the Magnectric was able to get to +6 attack since we got paralyzed so many times, and it got a critical hit quick attack and killed Adderall, which was extremely sad. But it was weak enough for Slurpee to kill it, and we finished the Watson fight with only one sad death. On our way to Fall Arbor Town, we caught a Numel and named him Chug Jug, because it looks like his little hump is spilling out Fortnite shield juice. Isn't that adorable? And we trained him up as we faced the trainers of one of the most aesthetically pleasing routes in all of Pokemon. If only the shinies here were as aesthetic as the route. Instead we have... We eventually found ourselves in Meteor Falls, where we devastatingly missed out on a Solrock encounter thanks to a critical hit. Had a quick conversation with some new red pirates, and our old blue pirate friends of course, and evaluated our team long enough to come to the conclusion that we had no chance against Flannery. Looking through my options in the PC and looking at which route they were caught on, I realized I completely skipped an encounter. The second route of the whole game. And you know what you have a chance of encountering there? A Wingull. A water and flying type Pokemon that completely counters Flannery's fire and ground types. Welcome to the team, Gum, the Wintergreen Wingull. We also caught a scenic ride up the mountain, where we beat up a bunch of those red pirates, evolved Gum into Pelipper, and took on the red pirate boss. And let me just say about this whole volcanic section of the game, cinema. Pure cinema. And speaking of cinema, we took out Maxie's whole team like Thanos took out half the universe. I don't want to say the Flannery fight was a piece of cake, but Gum took out her Numel with a gun, Chug Jug took out Slugma with a few magnitudes, Gum took out Camerupt with a gun, and Gum finished off the fight with, you'll never guess, a double pump shotgun. You know, I know you're new at this, Flannery, but I promise that Victory Royale, it's coming soon. You'll get there. Since we were about halfway through the game, I decided to take a quick breather at the hot springs. Enjoying the volcanic warmth of the water and the company of these nice wrinkly old ladies. And of course, the company of my beautiful team of shiny Pokemon. And while we're taking a moment, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that sub button. I've got a ton more fun ideas like this in the works, and I do a few video essays too. So stay tuned for more, and be sure to like the video. Alright, now back to it. With our newly acquired goggles, we traversed the desert where we caught Jawbreaker, the Trapinch. Oh, and its full legal name is Green Apple Flavored Jawbreaker, but you can just call him Jawbreaker for short, because, yeah, that wouldn't fit in this little name bar. Anyways, it was already time to face another gym, Dad's gym, Norman. When facing the gym trainers here, I just made a really flat out stupid decision, and I let Storm get killed by just a high roll quick attack from this Swellow. Literally, he was going to evolve the next level. He was this close to evolving. This close! With a new slot for Death Fodder, we started the fight against Norman. Gex duked it out with this really ugly Spinda, and landed a Leaf Blade crit to kill it. He also got some damage off on this Vigoroth before narrowly surviving its facade. We switched to OxyClean because there wasn't really much that this Vigoroth could do to him, and Metal Clawed until it was dead. His signature Slacking was up next, and I won't even fully narrate this one. This is a 10 times speed war of attrition that I only won because I'm not programmed to stop using potions after I've already used 2 of them. And if this Slacking was no match for OxyClean's defenses, Linoone wasn't either. We made our way across the sea and then through the rainforest. And dude, what is up with Hoenn in these just immaculate routes, where the shinies again are kind of not the best. Honestly, it's not the shiny that's bad here, it's just the fact that we had to finally catch a Zigzagoon, because somehow we hadn't encountered one yet. And honestly, as beautiful as this route itself is, it was full of painful memories. I mean, we saw Electrikes and even this Pokemon Ranger's Breloom, reminding us of Storm and Adderall. 2 amazing shiny Pokemon that I really loved and got really attached to, even if it was for a short time. I guess that's the point of the Nuzlocke, isn't it? Of course, more pirates. The only good thing to come from fighting all these pirates has been this cool little fellow with the yellow shades. His name is Freddy. Keeping with the weather theme, Freddy took Storm's place on the team. However, there was one condition. I could not use him in weather conditions. Now you might be thinking, isn't that the whole point of cast form? Yes, you'd be right. However, his weather forms don't have shinies. And that would ruin this whole video, whose point is that everything you see is shiny. I will never forgive you. Now that didn't mean Freddy was useless. No. Freddy had something that the other Pokemon didn't have, an Ice-type move, which was going to be super valuable against Winona. Before that though, we had to take down May again, in like the easiest fight we've had with her. And also, while exploring the routes beyond Fortree City, both OxyClean and Chug evolved. And now with our team really stacked, it was time to bring down Winona. We led with OxyClean and Rock Tombed her Swablu, but she healed up and then hard switched into Pelipper, who took a Rock Tomb as well. I switched into Gum for a mirror match, and all this other Pelipper wanted to do was land Supersonic and double protect. Like, dude, what is my luck? We persisted through all this and took out the Pelipper. She brought Swablu back in, who died immediately to OxyClean's Rock Tomb, and then faced down her Altaria coming in. Knowing the Earthquake was coming, I switched to Freddy, who took the hit like a champ. However, he wasn't able to do much in return. He got a lucky freeze and an unlucky instant defrost, letting Altaria set up Dragon Dance and do a lot more with the following Earthquake. However, we got another freeze, and this beautiful mustard bird stayed in the freezer long enough for us to heal up and take it out with 2 more Powder Snows. Tropius was up next, and we hit it with Powder Snow. Got the freeze, got the instant defrost again, and it just started spamming Synthesis. So I switched into Slurpee to get the job done, not without Tropius setting up the sun as a parting gift to help Chug melt Skarmory down and take it out. When we arrived in Lily Cove City, we had yet another easy rival fight. We chased off more pirates on Mount Pirate. Hey, Mr. President, what do you need? You said it's Mount Pyre, not Mount Pirate? Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Excuse me, Mount Pyre, where Gex also evolved into this wonderful minty boy. We also caught a Whalmer in Lily Cove City and named him Grape because is there any other acceptable name for this rotund purple gentleman? And he made light work of the Red Pirate hideout. Maxie, on the other hand, was a bit more trouble for him, but with OxyClean hard countering Crobat and Gum hard countering Camerupt, it really wasn't all that bad. And I was trying to get that fight over with quick because it was hot in there. I mean, somebody please turn on the AC. Oh. That's better. Man, they have everything in here. Free EXP, blue balls, purple balls, even a freaking submarine. What? Oh. I guess I'm out of here. It's even colder in here. And you know what's also in here? One of the cutest shiny Pokemon of all time. Toof the Spheal took Freddy's spot on the team, and with a heavy heart, I let Toof evolve like immediately after catching him. Now I know what it's like, Mom and Dad, to let your baby boy grow up so fast. He used to be so cute, and now he's got whiskers. Needing to do some training before Tate and Liza, we explored the abandoned ship, where Grape and OxyClean both evolved into the behemoth kaijus that they were always meant to be. The Tate and Liza fight was probably the hardest fight of the whole game. The one where I genuinely thought we might actually lose, like wipe out lose. The fight opened up with Gex doing over half to Claydol with Leaf Blade, and a terrifying Calm Mind from the opposing Xatu, and Grape just barely missing the KO on Claydol with Surf. The next turn they healed up Claydol, Grape just barely lived a Psychic from Xatu, and ended the turn basically the exact same way as the last. The following turns involved a lot of healing up of Grape, as Darth Xatu mercilessly continued to force choke him back down to like 1 HP, again and again. Finally, they were out of healing for Claydol, so Gex finished that thing off. Solrock came in next, and fearing a Flamethrower KO on Gex, I decided I needed to heal him up a little bit, which meant I couldn't heal up Grape, and that Grape's fate had been sealed. Apparently though, that sacrifice was for nothing, because the Solrock went for Solar Beam against what I'm assuming was Grape, but it didn't even live for us to find out. Down to their last two, we took out Lunatone with 2 consecutive Leaf Blades, and Darth Xatu was taken out after we hit it with an Overkill Overheat. May the Force be with you, Grape. After that, it was time to face off against even more villains, as we brought down the red pirates at the space station and ventured underwater to stop the blue pirates from, I don't know, destroying the world and drowning it, which they say it didn't go as expected, but it seems like it went how they expected it. Yeah, Mom, I'll be home for dinner, okay? Yes, it is raining where I am. Yes, it's raining really, really hard, actually. I'm kind of waiting for the storm to pass. Yeah, sorry, these, like, crazy pirates made it rain really hard for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I'll explain everything when I get home. Okay. Love you too. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. It's like I went on this whole Pokemon adventure thing so I could like do things on my own, you know? I'm 10 years old. I should like get to do my own thing. You get where I'm coming from, don't you? Oh, hey man. Thanks for nothing. So yeah, I guess the gym is open now. The wand fight started out with Gex taking out both Luvdisc and Celio with ease, while Toof, who, by the way, evolved during that whole weather fiasco, took on Kingdra, involving one of the most tragic misses you'll ever see. Yeah, that happened. And it happened again. I have really bad luck. But Toof made up for my bad luck and finally killed that pesky seahorse. From there on out, it was smooth sailing for Gex to KO the rest of his team. And now it was time for the ultimate challenge. Victory Road in the Elite Four. We came across Wally and the fight went about like this. Now, as much as I joke about how much of a breeze the Wally fight was, the final battle of Victory Road is actually terrifying, as it's a double battle with 2 Slackings and 2 Pokemon with Skill Swap. And the fight unfortunately ended with Chug Jug taking the brunt of an earthquake, while OxyClean protected and dying. I think this death probably hurt the most out of all the ones on the run so far. I genuinely had to take a day to mourn before I was mentally prepared to fight the Elite Four. I really loved that Fortnite camel. But with death comes new life, and a new spot on the team for a ground type. My favorite ground type, and my favorite Pokemon, Jawbreaker, the newly evolved Flygon, was here for the Elite Four. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot to mention, we also caught a Sableye in the Cave of Origin and named him Emerald. A very fitting name with a Pokemon for an emerald lodged in his chest, and you know, it's the name of the game. Now, without further ado, this is the shiniest you've ever seen the Pokemon Emerald Elite Four. First up was Sydney, and my plan was Guts Boosted Facade Slurpee. I did kind of forget about Mighty and his Intimidate, which made things a little complicated. I guess this was Nacho's final act of revenge for just letting our very first encounter die as death fodder, while Slurpee took his place on the team for the rest of the game. Anyways, I'll spare you all the complications of the fight. All you need to know is Slurpee got every single kill. Next up was Phoebe, and clearly our strategy against Sydney wasn't gonna work against the Ghost type specialist. But you know what did work? Setting up 6 Calm Minds in a row while her Dusclops spammed Protect. Dusclops went down, and so did Banette, who used Grudge and brought down Feint Attack to 0 PP, our only special move. But the time it took to heal our own PP was enough time for her Sableye to weaken us quite a lot, enough for her following Banette to get 2-hit KOs on us. Luckily, there wasn't much that this Banette could do to OxyClean, who wiped it out. Her final Pokemon was Dusclops with Earthquake. So I switched to Slurpee, who did some damage at the cost of a lot of HP, and then switched to Toof, who finished the fight being able to tank super effective Rock Slides, 2 of which were critical hits. 2 fights down, not a single death. We began the Glacier fight with the same Calm Mind strategy against her mostly special attacking team. The first Celio was already a little scary by building up Ice Ball power to counteract my special defense boost, but Confuse Ray was able to interrupt the consecutive hits. We continued setting up against Glalie, took it out, took out the other Celio in Glalie, and did some damage on Walrein before Emerald fell victim to a sheer cold that hit on the first attempt. Emerald carried the team this far into the Elite Four, and I was not about to let his death go in vain. Let her rip, Slurps. The final Elite Four member, Drake, was up next. And this one didn't even need any setup. His Shelgon and Salamence were decimated by Toof's Ice Beam, and Altaria was just as easy. Jawbreaker took care of Kingdra really quickly, leaving only his Flygon left. I switched back to Toof, expecting to take it out as easily as the rest of his team, but he managed to land a critical hit Earthquake, killing Toof, leaving Jawbreaker to take the life of his own kind. The Elite Four had been defeated at the cost of 2 fallen soldiers, Toof and Emerald. And all that was left was Champion Wallace. Wallace's first Pokemon he sends out is Wailord, and my first Pokemon is Gex, my literal first Pokemon. We're going full circle for this fight. Wailord's only move that could do decent damage to Gex was Blizzard, and Gex was holding a Lax Incense, an item that boosts evasiveness and had the move Double Team on his moveset. So Wailord missed and missed and missed, never landing a single hit. Wallace's Milotic, Tentacruel, Ludicolo, and Whiscash all were unable to land even a single hit, and all fell to Gex's Leaf Blades. And then Wallace sent out the most famous shiny Pokemon of all time, Gyarados. And then this happened. Finding shiny Pokemon requires a lot of luck, and obviously, that was not the case in this playthrough. So I don't think it was luck that Gex survived that hit. No, it was sheer determination from our little minty green gecko that was with us from the very beginning. But that's not all. There's still one more shiny Pokemon in this game to catch. A favorite among the Pokemon community, shiny Rayquaza. So we climbed atop the Sky Pillar and caught him in a Master Ball. Thank you all so much for watching. I'd been really wanting to replay Emerald, and I thought this was a really cool way to do it, kind of having a fresh new coat of paint. I know the shinies weren't special anymore, but it was just really refreshing to see the game in a new way. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment on your favorite part. This was a whole lot of work and love put into this, so I appreciate everyone who stuck around this long in the video. But yeah, subscribe for shiny luck, or just use an action replay code. Thanks for watching.